The alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Are you guys ready? Okay, let's serve Uganda. As promised, we deliver. We are redefining the social media narrative, asking tough questions and holding your leaders accountable. We are non-partisan and break down having a conversation with Uganda.
We are the Mighty Drive. We hold debates that give you viable solutions. We bring to people that Ivora is wanting to listen to. We are gender sensitive and give space to the unheard voices. Not forgetting the quote of the day.
We are live on our social media platforms, The Alternative Uganda on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter from Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Don't miss the debate behind the wheels and studios.
I am Edgar Matthew Karuhanga.
And Princess Luwe Delidian.
Expect in-depth analysis, credible, factual and authentic information. We are the Alternative Digitalk.
Real issues, real talk.
Schools are open. Parents, guardians, have you prepared your adolescents that are pregnant and mothers for school? The government has given us national guidelines to assist with the responsibility of sending these girls back to school. Let us help to provide them with a safe, productive and friendly environment for their learning. They are still our children, living among us in our communities. Their pregnancies, becoming mothers before adulthood, affects them, their community and our nation. All children have a right to education. Now, let's take them back to school because completing their primary and secondary school education is very important to their future careers, personal development and being productive citizens of our nation. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Education and Sports, the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development.
The alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Good morning and welcome to this edition of the Mighty Drive Show. My name is Edgar Matthew Karuhanga. It is a proud honor to have you on this very, very good Wednesday. It is a cold Wednesday from Digitalk House where we are streaming live from, and thank you so much for coming aboard. From the people who are watching us from various parts of the country, you are welcome. The northern region, the western region, the eastern region and the central region where we are streaming live from, you are most welcome to this edition of the Mighty Drive Show. Today is the 16th day of February 2022. Uganda remembers Bishop or Archbishop Janan Lumu, who was the Archbishop of Uganda from 1974 to 1977. A gentleman who has left a mark in the history of this particular nation, the Pearl of Africa, and a gentleman who will forever be remembered because he is taken to be a human rights defender, a freedom fighter, and some go to as much as saying he is a martyr. A martyr y'omuntu akufiira attibwa ku lw'enzikiriza ye, era omwami ono Janan Lumu, omwami ono yafiira oba yafiirwa mu kintu kye yali akkiririzaamu. So olunaku olwaleero Uganda ejjukira Janan Lumu onono eyali Archbishop wa lino eggwanga wakati w'omwaka gwa 1974 paka mu 1977. Mbaniriza nnyo ku show y'olunaku olwaleero nga mbagambye ennaku z'omwezi 16 omwezi gwa 2 omwaka 2022 era tubeera wano kubanga tubaweereza buli lunaku kubanga ffe twasalawo nti as the alternative Digitalk tugenda kukeeranga buli kumacha we break down having a conversation with you tunyumyamu ne tulaba nga tu making sure nti buli joli amawulire ogawulira ate ogategeera in real time. Ngawe mbagambe ngenda kusooka kubannyonnyolako ku mwami ono ensi gwejjukira because si Uganda yokejjukira omwami Bishop Lumu, amawanga nga Bungereza nago gamujjukira, amawanga nga Scotland gamujjukira, onono gwola balina n'ekibumbe kiri wakati mu London nga kiri mannya g'omwami ono Archbishop Janan Lumu. Omwami ono atwalibwa okubanga ye mwami yafiirira ekintu kye yali akkiririzamu oba he died for what he believed in. Bamuzaala ennaku z'omwezi zaali 17 February, in fact yazalibwa mu mwaka gwa 1922 yagenda okufa nga afiridde ku lunaku lwa 17 February 1977. No yakulira wali mu Kitgum district, yazalibwa mu Acholi oba mu northern part of Uganda. Omwami Bishop obago baita Archbishop Janan Lumu yafiira mu mwaka gwa 1977 naye mbadde nkyagamba nti yazalibwa mu Kitgum district mu Acholi land, agenda akula yegatta ku Church of Uganda oba okusoma udinkoni oba okubeera ordained ng'omuzungu atera okubanga akyogera. Yali ordained mu mwaka gwa 1953. Okuva emyaka egyo gyonna abadde musajja yali active mu kuweereza Katonda n'okuweereza bannayuganda paka we yakwatibwa mu mwaka gwa 1977. Jukira okuva we yatwala obuyinza mu 71 omwami ono yayimiriranga kaati n'ayogera amazima n'agamba Dada ebintu byokola bityobola eddembe ly'abantu era abantu abasinga tebabikkiririzaamu. Kubanga yali musajja gwe bayita outspoken gentleman, yayogeranga bintu bingi nga akkiriza mu kyayogera. Yakwatibwa abasirikale oba bannamagye abaali aba Dada ne bamuteekako omusango ne banne babiri abaali abantu basatu ne babateekako emisango egy'enjawulo okubanga bayamba Obote. Ajukira by then Obote yali awambiddwa nga naye kati yafuuka rebel oba mutujju. So mu ngeri eyo omwami oyo yakwatibwa, we yamalibwa okukwatibwa ne bamutta era yattibwa okujjako bagamba nti nno omulambo gwe oba yafuna accident we bagamba je yamutta we bali bamutwala mu detainment center oba je bali balina okumusibira. So mu transit eyo bagamba emotoka yatomera emotoka endala ne bafuna accident. Bonna abasatu abaali mu Janan Lumu ne banne ne bafiira mu kabenja ako, naye abantu abamu bagamba nti bamulabako first hand nga attibwa nga bagamba bamukuba amasasi, abamukuba amasasi asatu mu kifuba ne bamukuba n'essasi limu mu kamwa. Ebyo ebigambo ebyogerwa waliwo ne ba eyewitnesses abagamba wadde bagana okuvaayo officially to speak on record, naye bagamba nti omwami Idi Amin Dada yamwettira kennyini, yamukwata n'apuulinga the trigger himself okubanga ajja Janan Lumu mu budde. So mu ngeri eyo okuva omwaka gwa 2018 government yasalawo nti omwami ono ajjukirwenga ku buli nnaku z'omwezi 16 omwezi ogwa February buli mwaka Uganda ejja kubejjukira omwami Janan Lumu ku lw'ebikolwa bye. Kiki kye tumuyigako? Tumuyigako nti no bannayuganda mulina okuyimiriranga mwogere. You stand up to what you believe in. Omuntu yenna kasita obanga olina ekintu ky'okkiririzaamu okiyimirirangako ne woba ogenda kiyimirirako bw'omu. Oftentimes ekintu ky'oba okkirizaamu abantu abasinga si buli omuntu aba akikkiririzaamu. So mu ngeri eyo oluusi olina okuba nga oyimirira ku nsonga gy'oba okkirizaamu ate obeere nga ogiggusa. Omwami ono yayimirira ku nsonga gye yali akkiririzaamu eya respect of human rights and respect of the sanctity of human life. Yali akikkiririzaamu nnyo era yagenda okukkiririzira kumwa ennyindo gye zirembekera mukoka ng'omwami ono akoze kye yali alina okuba nga akola. Alijjukirwa mu ggwanga lino ng'omuntu yayimirira ku mazima era paka ssaawa zino ndooza muli mukulaba gwe tuli mu kwogerako olunaku luno olwaleero. Bannaggwano nno bangi abajjukirwanga nabagambako wano ku Martin Luther King Jr. paka ssaawa zino United States birthday yagifuulira ddala public holiday because he left a mark mu ggwanga lino erya America ne mu nsi eno gye yabeeramu. Ekira kye tulina okukkiriza the value of human rights. Omuntu olina okukkiriza ku value oba is it called the value simanyi ng'egye basobola kiyita oba the worthiness of human life. Omuntu olina okukkiriza nti omuntu abeera muntu So oluusi tulina okuba nga tufollowinga principles ez'omwami ono ze yakola gwe bayita Archbishop Janan Lumu. Eddakiika zino ziri 11 ze zaakayita ku ssaawa emu ey'okumakya. Omwami ali ku kamera bamuyita JJ nga bulijjo abeera ali ku videos, then n'omukyala gwe bayita Teddy Tenjo Namukeera ye producer ne Arnold Mukose Anthony. So mba mujjukizaako omwami JJ akendeze here and there. Then omwami ono ekira kye tumujjukirako kya selflessness, kubanga yeewaayo ensi agifiiririre oba agikiririzeemu omwami Janan Luwumu. Era abantu abamu batera okumuyita saint oba omuntu gwe bayita omuntu eyayimirira ku nsonga ya Katonda, because those are saints, abantu abali Christ-like, abalinga Katonda yennyini. So omwami ono Janan Luwumu tumujjukirako kubanga abantu balina okubeera selfless, beera omuntu w'abantu, weeweeyo ensi ekuwulire, ensi ekufiiringe. Naye bino ebintu by'okubeera nga oliawo you are selfish, no, it doesn't make sense. Beera selfless, ensi ebeere ng'ekuwulira, ensi ebeere ng'ekutegeera. Then ndoza nga tumaliriza tujja kumujjukirako omwami ono nti olina okwogera ky'okkiririzaamu nga tonnafa. Oba olina ky'okkiririzaamu, oba olina omuntu gw'oyagala, oba olina ekintu ky'ofaako ennyo kikole mulundi gumu, kikkiririzeemu, ate obeere nga oli muntu naggwa. At the end of the day, people who are victorious are people who do and believe in what they believe. Waba akikkirizamu ajja kikola, ate waba akikkirizamu aba akikkirizamu ne wonaakola ki. That is an epitome of success for the gentleman Archbishop Janan Luwumu. Ndoza tuveeko kaawo tugendeko mu mawulire amalala. Omwami Odonga Oto yavudde mu active politics oba elective politics. Jjukira omwami ono yakubibwa akalulu omwaka ogwedde. Okuva olwo yali agamba tamanyi bulamu bwe bugenda kubeera, naye yamaze n'asalawo kati nti avudde mu elective politics, okuddamu okumulonda agenda kubanga takkiriza. He is not going to accept to be elected. Watagenda kubanga naye yeesimbawo. Naye bannayuganda nga bo bamanyi, atandika ayinza okugamba kirala ate n'amaliriza na kirala. That is how Ugandans are. Akugamba ngenda bivuddeko dda, waliwo yali yasuubiza bannayuganda nti ye wanaweza emyaka 10 mu buyinza ajja kuvaamu, naye abantu batera nnyo okwekyusa era batera okugamba nti omuntu bwekyusa life bwekyo bweri, abantu bakola ki abekyusa. So Odongo Oto ye yagambye yavudde mu elective politics. Katulinde oba kyayogera akitegeeza oba just tuli mu palapase nga bwe batera okubanga bagamba, naye waba akitegeeza, that is a very very commendable approach. Kintu kyeyakoze ekyo omuntu oyinza okugamba nti no kyamaanyi. Wetwogera wali ku mukutu ogwa Twitter, waliwo omuvubuka ali mu kutrendinga. In fact si muvubuka, mwana wa bulenzi bamutumye Mr. Egg. Mr. Egg ono abadde yeetanidde nnyo kubanga abaza wali amamotoka oba wali abantu abangi n'asuulawo amagi nayefuula nti nno ogwonoonye, ate olina okuba nga omukompesating oba olina okuba nga omuddizaawo bizinesi ye. Omwami ono nga abeera mu traffic jam n'abalanga emmotoka zigenda ttambula bwezi, n'alyoka akwata amagi n'agaywawo, gwe oba n'otomerako oba n'agamba ssebo wantomeredde amagi gange n'ogwonoona olina okusasula. Omuguze guno abadde agutandise nnyo, naye ate abannayuganda batandise omutrackinga ne bagamba naye ono ye buli wabeera amagi ge gaba gayiise, baba agatomedde, baba gwonoonye. Lwaki yakage gokka ge boonoona bannayuganda ge batetera kutwala bulungi mu ngeri eyo? Bannayuganda ne bagamba Mr. Egg ye bamuguddemu. So ku mukutu guli ogwa Twitter wetwogerera kati omuvubuka ono yali mu ku trendinga ekiseera kino. So bannayuganda twebereremu, omulenzi oyo w'omulaba abeera a bit skeptical and vigilant, naye tetugambye ate nti no mumusosole oba muyisewo, because at the end of the day omuvubuka mwana muto, he was like 10 years or 11. So mwana agezaako okuba nga ayiiya obulamu. Mu Uganda mugimanyi, Uganda bagamba kinyuma, naye kinyuma nga olinaawo olina ky'oyiiya. So kyekyo kye tulina okuba nga twogera. Omwami David Sejjusa, omwami ono bagwe bate David Tunyefunza aka David Sejjusa, kooti yasazeewo nti omwami ono akyali munnamagye, he is still serving army office. Omwami ono ndoza mujjukira omwaka gwali gwa 2014 2015 around there omwami ono yafunamu obutabanguko wakati we ne president w'eggwanga lino Yoweri Kaguta Tibuhaburwa we yagambira mbu waliwo ebintu byayitakkiririzaamu omwami Tibuhaburwa bye yali akola oba paka saawa zino ng'agamba omwami Tibuhaburwa Museveni yava ku ntegeeragana gye baalina nga bali mu kununula lino eggwanga. Jjukira abasajja bano babayita batatwatera embunda balwanira eggwanga lino ne balinunula mu mwaka gwa 1986. So omwami ono tinyefunza emabegakaawo mu myaka mitono emabega yali yayawukanyemuko ne president Yoweri Kaguta Tibuhaburwa Museveni naye over time atandise okuba nga addawo yakomawo wano yali afulumyemu nga atandise n'obeera e Bungereza naye yakomawo mu ggwanga. So omwami ono bwe twogerera nga ye kooti yeegambye he still a serving officer akyali munnamagye era akyali entitled to every right of a serving UPDF officer omwami David Tunyefunza omwami oyo. Then n'omwami yaliko Chief Justice ow'eggwanga lino Bat Katurebe waliwo ka video akafuluma nga bamulaba ali mu retirement ye ali mu kukola mabuloka abantu abasinga ne bagamba naye Chief Justice omulamba ne retirement benefits zaafuna lwaki ali mu kwenyigira mu ngeri wetu. Yafulumyeyo n'ayogera eri bannamawulire n'abagamba lwaki yali mu kubeera mu bricklaying oba okuyamba abantu mu kukola amatoffaali n'agamba kino tekiswaza and of course it helps to bind the unity in the community. So omwami ono yabalaze nti okubeera nga waliko omulamuzi ku kooti enkulu the Supreme Court, in fact you are the chief judge omulamuzi omukulu ku Supreme Court esinga mu ggwanga lino tekikujjaako kuba munnayuganda oba tekikujjaako kubeera muntu at the end of the day. So mu ngeri eyo Bat Katurebe aye mu retirement ye ali mugikozesa nga ayamba abantu mu kukuba amatoffaali kulima. He is serving like many people, which shows that actually retirement is possible oba okunyuka kiba kisobokera ddala nnyo. Bannayuganda ekintu tukimanye abantu abasinga tebagala kubanga banyuka, so abantu abasinga tebatera kukikirizaamu naye mu ngeri eyo ye Chief Justice Bat Katurebe ali bulungi ali mu kwekubira amatoffaali g'empolampola nga wanyumira retirement. Omwami ono lumungi abanyonyola mu retirement benefits Chief Justice zaafuna oluusi abasajja bano bafuna ensimbi zibeera nyingi era omusanga nga ali mu mbeera bweti ogamba humility at its cost. Poliisi yo yavuddeyo neyogera ku akabondo akaba terrorists oba abantu bannalukalala wali akabondo ke yaguddemu yakutte abantu abasoba mu 7. Omwami Fred Enanga yabadde ayogerako eri bannamawulire n'ababuulira biki ebyabaddewo bagezezaako okuba nga bayingirira ne balumba terror cell oba akabondo k'abannalukalala bo we babayita era bagamba abannalukalala nga 7 bakwatiddwa era bali mabega wa mitayimba. Tulinze we banaaba processingira batandika okuba nga babalininga mu court kikyena abagamba mu ngeri eyo kyekigenda mu maaso wali mu Uganda Police. Omwami Fred Enanga yategeezezza eggwanga olunaku lwabadde lwaggulu kiki ekigenda mu maaso. Abapoliisi bakuteyo akabondo kaabo abaterrorists abadde baterrorizinga nnyo Kampala. So at least yes ekyo kyekigenda mu maaso. Government yo yagambye ababodaboda bonna balina okuba nga beregisteringa balina okwewandiisa nefujjo ababodaboda bannange erisusse ennaku zino nammwe mwekomeko because efujjo ababodaboda be balwana be bakuba abantu be basuula abantu kwegamba bodabodas are so entitled. Government yateekawo enembeera y'okuregisteringa ebenga etandika okuregulatingako ku bodabodas because bodabodas is one of the business that employs a lot of people but it's one of the least regulated businesses in this country nti tebagifaako nnyo. So president yakola directive ne government okutandika okuba nga baregisteringa bodabodas at least bamanye enamba ya bodaboda ziri mmeka era osobola okumanya n'engeri gy'osobola obategekeramu mu ngeri eyo. So kyekyo kigenda mu maaso wali mu ggwanga erya Uganda lino lye tulimu eggwanga lino erinyumira ddala abantu balinyumirwa abantu batera okugamba mu Uganda kitunyumira eddakiika zino ziri abiri zezakayita ku ssaawa emu ey'okumakya program oli ku Mighty Drive eno kabeera kanyomero bakayita the Mighty Global News Updates wetukubeera amawulire agabeera gy'otaabadde to making sure that you are an informed citizenry at the end of the day. Farida Bikobere ne Luwedde mwebali mu kizimbe mpola tugenda kubanga tunyumyamu nawe paka ssaawa 3 ziri zennyini ze twalagaana naawe okubanga tukuweereza. So keep it alternative Digitalk gwabadde tanafuna kachai feel free agenda mufumbiro n'essimu yo mpola osoke wetabulye kachai because discussion egenda kutandika butandisi egenda kutunyumira paka ssaawa ziri 3 ez'okumakya. Ntumiddeko buli omu nabaddekaawo mu ddwaliro ly'e Rubaga olunaku lw'eggulo nga bagamba bannange alternative Digitalk nga tuginyumirwa nnyo. Waliyo n'omwami bamuyita Keith. Keith ono ye Keith yes akolera ku Sanyu FM muvubuka muyimbi ate radio presenter yabaddekaawo ng'agamba omukutu gwa alternative Digitalk agunyumirwa nnyo naddala program the Mighty Drive n'azijukizaako program awo gye twakolako wano n'agamba program yali nnungi twalina bannamateeka babiri so n'agamba twalina omwami aboneka yes twalina omwami aboneka kwolwo olunaku ne munnamateeka omulala so yagambye esho yamunyumira nnyo era followinga nnyo the Mighty Drive. So webale nnyo omwami Keith oba Heath njagala kumeetinga in person at least because yadde njogera nawe ku simu e Rubaga ng'ogamba you like the show so much. Thank you so much. Thank you and all the patients in that hospital, thank you so much for watching. I pray for a quick recovery. Ate alternative Digitalk banange ekyabaweereza twakatandika butandisi tuli mu mwaka mulala vision tulina y'amaanyi vision ziri mu 2080 abalabe babeera ne vision 2040 alternative Digitalk eri ku vision at 2080. Thank you so much for watching us and of course it's a privilege to know that mubeera yeeyo waliyo by the way abeebaza mwebale kubanga mwebaza ne mugamba mwebale kutuweereza waliyo n'abo nno abakola akensuso ne bakuwaayo ke bakuwaayo nagamba ne Ediga webale kuweereza ggwanga naye webale naye ate waliyo n'abo abalaba ne basirika abatasiima era nammwe mwebale okubanga mutulaba wano ku program the alternative ku program the Mighty Drive ku mukutu ogwa the alternative Digitalk tukyabaweereza abasiima n'abatasiima buli omu Digitalk yaffe. Now let's go in for a short commercial break. When we come back, Farida Bikobere, Lilian Luwede will be right here and the Mighty Drive will go up to 9 a.m. Good morning, Uganda.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Nze omubejja Luwedde Lilian mbaniriza maka gaffe amajja era nga wano tugenda okuba nga tukolera programu yaffe emanyiddwa nga The Voltage gaba masannyalaze gennyini era nga twogera ku bintu ebyenjawulo omwo nno mwe muli ebigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga ensonga z'ebyobufuzi n'obukulembeze bw'eggwanga Uganda twogera ku nsonga ez'abavubuka eddembe ly'obuntu awamu n'ebyenkulaakulana togisubwa buli lunaku olwokutaano eba ssaawa emu ey'akawungeezi paka ssaawa 3 ez'ekiro.
The Diaspora Link buli lwakuna ssaawa 11 paka ssaawa 1 ey'olweggulo ye program gye tukuleetedde wano ku Alternative Digitalk Uganda. Tugenda batutunulira embeera z'Abannayuganda baganda baffe bannyinaffe zibawangaaliramu mu mawanga ag'ebunaayira. Bangi banyigirizibwa, bangi bakosebwa, bangi bayisiddwamu amaaso. Naye tugenda batutunulira engeri gye tusobola okulongosaamu embeera zaabwe. Tugenda kuba tulaba abo abakwatibwako abateekeddwa okuba nga balongoosa embeera zino eno. Tosubwa buli lwakuna n'omuweerezaawo Nixon Segawa.
Hello everyone, my name is Abdulatif and I welcome you to the Hotline Show here at the Alternative Digitalk as we discuss issues of national importance. Join us every Monday 7 to 9 p.m. and see who will be occupying these seats here with us. Keep it Digitalk, real issues, real talk.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Digitalk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Digitalk. Digitalk, the way to go.
Buli muntu azaliwa n'eddembe lye ery'obwebange. Obadde okimanyi nti kikakatako okuuma eddembe lino. Eddembe lino likuggyibwako litya era ddi? Munnaffe toyitira. Bino n'ebirala birindirire mu programu yaffe Teeka Ki. N'abaweereza abo Nalukwago Emerin Katumba wamu ne Tumusiime Kato. Buli Lwakubiri ku ssaawa 5 ez'okumakya wano ku Alternative Digitalk.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Lunaku lwa kusatu tuba ennaku z'omwezi 16 tuli mwezi gwa kubiri omwaka 2022. Mbabuuzako ne James Zidde okubanga mutulaba nze omumbejja luwedde Lilian. N'olwaleero we tulinnya okubanga ate tubaweereza ndina omumbejja w'e Bunyoro agenda kubanga atulamusaako ayambadde kakkala oba oliawo kaagala okufaanaganamu ne kakkala abasinga obungi ke bayambala ku lunaku olw'emmanda ajja kuba atubuulira oba Valentine eyiye ya lwaleero byonna agenda kubanga abitunnyonnyola naye nga mbakulisaayo abali mu Valentine mukulikireeyo ddala abantu bazzeeyo dda ku mirimu gw'atannaba kubanga oddayo munnange ng'okyalowooza nti ennaku zikyaliyo munnange kutegeeza nti keekadde okubanga ate oddayo okubanga onoonyeza ekigulira magala eddiba. Mbabuuzaako era nga n'omugenyi waffe yamaze dda okubanga ate twegattako Engineer Bolanya Olenga Tony agenda kubanga ate atubuulira ku Nile Media Awards mulimu ki biki bye twetaaga okubanga tumanya awards zikyalina mugaso ki mu ggwanga lino erya Uganda. Ye abaffe Nile Media Awards zaawukana zitya ku awards zetuzze tulaba oba ezizze zitegekebwa mu ggwanga lino erya Uganda. Agenda kubanga abitubuulira tugenda kubanga ate tunyumyamu naye ng'ate gwe munnanga ayagala okubanga otufuna genda butereevu ku Facebook mu search engine teekamu The Alternative Uganda ojja kusobola okubanga ate otufuna bulungi nnyo. Alina ekibuuzo kiteeke mu comment section tujja kubanga ate tukisoma nga show yaffe tennaba kubanga ewunzikibwa. So nga ate ku YouTube kwe tuli nnyo tuli The Alternative Uganda genda subscribing ku YouTube channel yaffe n'emikutu emirala kwe tuli nnyo ku Instagram ku Twitter so ne ku TikTok kwe tuli nnyo osobola okubanga otufuna. The Mighty Drive ye program gy'oli mu kulaba kuva olunaku olw'emmadda okutuuka olwokutaano eba ssaawa emu ey'okumakya mpaka ssaawa 3. Kansooke nnamuse ku mumbejja w'e Bunyoro naye ate tulamuse kumamba kulikayo mu Valentine. Eyo ya leero njiraba okusinziira ku kakkala ako.
Kala muzibuga naye no maroon bagamba nti red ye kala y'abaagala.
Tuzitambuliza wamu.
Naye era whatever the case.
Okay. Good morning.
I love people. So if I am celebrating it today, that is okay.
Oh.
I love my viewers. I love you. So
even the guest is wearing red, so he will also be telling us.
Maybe he has a reason as why he's putting on red. Naye njagala okubala musaka abatukeeredde kwa kumpewo zaffe za The Alternative Digital. Koti bannange mwasuze mutya. It is a public holiday. Tusuubira nti muli waka olunaku luno tuba tuhonaringa former Archbishop Jonathan Ndumwe olunaku lwe yattibwa mu gavumenti ya Idi Amin. So abaana abasomi bali waka bamaama bataata mwenna tubasaba abatombodde nti ate bannange temujjaako mubeereko tuyige tulaba awards nyingi.
Nalowooza abantu bali waka Farid.
Balazeewa.
Public holidays ezimu abantu abamu kisinziira bana bali mu office era mbadde manyire leero naawe oli off.
ngandagawa fete tubera na off
to work out of the day.
so ate twagala tuyige wamu namwe tulaba awards nyingi baba nominating nze wano. What is the relevance of these awards? Muna Uganda afuniramu wa oba kuba nominating nze okifuniramu wa kati bintu byanfuniramu wa would you okwetaba mu kintu kyotafunamu ffe tugiyita waste of time. Buli wobeera nga bakutadde oba olina okuba nga olina kyojjawo buli kyoba wenyigiramu kyomaliramu akadde oba olina okuba nti olina kyokijjamu oba tolina kyokijjamu ekiveeko kiti. Our quote of the day is it is only when we take chances when our lives improve. The initial and most difficult risk that we need to take is to become honest. Most of us are not honest to our own souls. So let us allow to take chances, allow ourselves to take chances. You never know. That chance you are being that maybe I do it or I do not do it. It might be the target for you to be rich or become famous or do something important in life. So let us allow ourselves to take chances and make these mistakes repeatedly as we take lessons from the mistakes we have done. It is the Mighty Drive. Era olunaku lwakusatu. We have Mr. Bolanya. Amanya gali amalasigenda kokera.
You might pronounce them wrongly.
But he is called Mr. Bolanya. Other names he will add by himself. We have him in the studios. We will be talking about awards specifically throughout the show. So waliko verera kodala oyige oba tuyige wamu. It is a very good morning here at the Mighty Drive. We welcome you, Mr. Bolanya. Say hi to our viewers.
Thank you so much. My name is Bolanya Olenge Tony. I'm an engineer by profession, and thanks for having me on the Mighty Drive.
You're most welcome, Mr. Engineer, sir.
But Mr. Olanya doesn't know Luganda, so I will say our Luganda viewers, we are really sorry. Omumbejja we Buganda agenda kuba abakyusizaamu katono by'anaabasobodde. Ate munange kikufuula omumbejja kuwoomesa Luganda, olulimi Oluganda. So ojja kuba oluwoomesaamu koko eno show for the purposes of our Luganda viewers okutabaleka mabega.
Tujja tambulirawo mpola mpola ebinaaba binnemye nga naawe oyingiramu.
Bwe kiki ekimbeesa mu Buganda wano. Yeah. So Mr. Olanya, to our viewers that are watching you for the first time, who is Olanya?
Basically, I'm from a background of activism and advocacy. I currently...
Activism, which kind of activism? Political?
Civic and human rights activism.
Okay.
And currently I'm team leading as a principal of a youth-led advocacy platform called Songa.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
platform.
platform.
Also tell us about Songa. What Songa is?
Songa is about the young people taking up the civic space. So we always meet to brainstorm on how things are moving on in the country. We discuss critical issues as a team. So it's a platform that seeks to see that young people have platforms in leadership and platforms in all angles of life.
Okay.
We look at media, we look at leadership, we look at other spheres of life pertaining entrepreneurship. So that's what we do. So we also try to seek to encourage other young people to embrace all these aspects of life, to take up the space that they rightfully deserve as Songa. And of course, we speak and say our opinions openly and boldly to what we see wrong and right in society. Yeah.
Okay, so that's basically what you do.
That's basically
it's my
what
first
Songa
time
does.
hearing an engineer who is an activist. This is my first time.
No,
I was
actually,
even surprised that you're an engineer by profession.
Yeah, I'm an
Are
engineer.
you practicing your profession?
Yeah, practicing.
So how do you balance the activism and then the engineering at the same time?
It's about versatility, putting your time.
Where is Songa located?
Songa is a platform that has representation all around in the country. It hasn't yet been. It hasn't yet. It has an office in Gulu as a base, but it hasn't yet been formally launched. But it's already in operation.
What was the motivation of you guys coming up with the word Songa and the name Songa? You would have to tell us, is it a slogan? If it is, what is it? It's for like, and then what was the motivation behind the idea of beginning Songa?
The name Songa is a Kiswahili word, which means
Songa mbele.
Something like that, moving forward.
Okay.
So our idea was, yeah, we as the young people form that critical mass in this country. But how best can we as the young people take up that space? You see, most of the times you hear young people lamenting. These things are not moving.
It's what we're used to do.
Yeah, lamentation in the country. So our approach is, how best do we do exactly what people lament about, other young people lament about? So if there is really a need, let's say, we did a campaign and we're trying to look at the impact of COVID-19 on child mothers, back especially in the northern part of the country, which was so much ravaging. And as Songa, our role was to, first of all, see which platform can work for these young people. How best do we identify the voices and see how best we can amplify them? Because if you look at the numbers, it's worrying, okay? So this is something that many people may not wish to speak about. We have leaders who may not wish to speak about these things, okay? Because of certain reasons they feel best known to them. Of course, you know our leaders. Yeah. Majority of them are not transformational leaders. Some of them are transactional in their kind of approach. Others are appealing kind of leaders.
Isn't that blackmail?
Not blackmail. This is a fact in the country. You have transformational leaders. You have leaders who simply come at times where they need.
Who is a transformational leader and who is a transactional leader?
Of course, I would say a transactional leader. These are leaders you'd expect to always cut deals. Okay, they always come in where they win. Okay, you've seen in Parliament where there are cases when they want to pass a bill and all that.
And they're given a brown envelopes. So those are transactional leaders.
It's pure clear. And they will also come as well as coming to the constituencies and give money. That's transactional.
Give money to be voted in office.
To the constituents. It's not necessary. That will not be their role.
And then the transformational
leaders are the leaders that you see doing exactly what perhaps would have mandated them to do. If you come to Parliament as a leader, we would expect you to enact laws as people would have demanded for. We would expect you to consult us as constituents. That to me would be transformation. And of course, representing the true values of your society. Yeah.
Of course, some of them come to Parliament and then they enact laws and then you're like, no, we don't want this bill. This bill is not good.
Do we have such transformation leaders in Uganda?
To my opinion.
In Uganda currently?
To my opinion, I would think as of this current Parliament, not so many leaders are transformational in this.
We have transaction.
We may not have exactly transactional leaders because as of now we've not yet had very contradictory or controversial bills coming on board. Like you've had, they had mentioned a few bills that were supposed to come on board, but they've not yet brought them on table. But of course, as a critical person in this country, of course everything starts as a rumor.
Yeah.
Who is your MP in Gulu?
And before you know it, it is passed as a bill.
Surely.
Who is your MP in Gulu?
Gulu has about 3 members of Parliament.
No, your area.
Your area MP.
Yeah, of course, I'm based within the city, so you might find it's Gulu West and Gulu East, and then the main woman MP.
You must not be living in all the 3, Gulu West, Gulu East, and then we want your area MP, not the woman MP.
Yeah. My area MP is Honorable Father Unen Charles, who was a priest.
Okay.
Is he a transactional or a
transformation MP?
That is putting me on the spot. I wouldn't wish to categorize someone as transformational.
But you say you speak truth to power.
Yes, for me,
as a Songa.
For me, as a principle of Songa.
So as a team leader of Songa.
Our principle is not to single out a leader and say, yes, you're transformational, you're transactional. Ours is to tell the people that this is the kind of leadership we have in this country, in your constituency. So it's the people, when we open their eyes, it's for them to see that, yes, okay, if this is the kind of leadership that was defined by Songa as this, then perhaps, yeah, this person falls in this category. Ours is basically to open the eyes.
Are there some challenges that you faced as Songa?
Surely, sure enough.
What are those challenges?
I would say as a space of young people as Songa, we faced a lot of things. In this country, the first thing you do if you are an activist or if you've opened an activism platform, the first thing they will do is to tag you to a rebel group. That's what the first thing they will do, tag you to a rebel group openly, which is one thing they will do. The other thing they will do is to, of course, see and start attaching you to funny things. Say where you're getting your
political
funding
party.
from, okay? They ask where you're getting your funding from. Even when you mobilize within yourselves, they'll ask you questions pertaining allegiance, okay? Even if you say you are FDC, NOOP, or NRM, and say, yes, you're NRM, but you're critical about the things that happen, okay?
Yes.
Because now there's a new crop and breed of leadership in the NRM. The young people in the NRM will say boldly that, yes, there is this that we say is okay, maybe within the NRM, but
And
we
this
say
is
this is
wrong.
very wrong,
Yeah.
and we don't want it to move this way. Like for me, I would openly say torture is bad, but who are the people making the torture?
Are
The
you
very-
an NLM youth?
I would say I'm an NRM, but very critical.
Yeah.
I would say if this is right in the NRM, I'll say this is right, okay?
Actually, NRM had rebel MPs, so you're one of the rebel youths
If
in
they want to
NRM.
term it a rebel youth, that's a terming.
Okay.
But I would say boldly that we need to have a honest discussion as a country. Okay? This speaking as some, this is our position as Songa, that we want to have a bold and a very honest discussion. This country has leaders who are not honest, who don't want to have a clear representation of what is in the public. Trust me, even when you move on the streets of Kampala, move on the streets of Gulu, any streets in this country, people have a lot of anger. There's a boiling anger in the crowd. Like some leader once said, there's basically, the country is basically sitting on a time bomb. So if we don't address these issues, we think we may be sitting because we would suppress a few people to speak and all that. But I think it is not right. The country needs to have a very honest discussion. And from my view, from the views of very many young people, I don't think we've done the best for this country as it stands, okay?
No.
You would find the issues of corruption that they talk about,
Yeah.
issues of misrepresentation that they talk about. It's not because this country can fail to, let's say, support its budget, supplement what it's already on the budget, or perhaps do things that can be practically available. I will tell you for a fact, if you look at money that is spent vis-a-vis money that is put into proper use, it will really hurt you. The health budget is shocking, not so? But we are just from COVID-19, but the
Yes.
health budget is low.
But do you think Ugandans follow such stuff?
Ugandans have to start following such stuff. That's why Songa exists. That's why you would see very many advocacy platforms. The Alternative Uganda, I'm proud to say, is a platform that I met once when I was in Gulu University, and we had critical discussions as young people. And I would believe it shaped my mind, shaped my opinions. Okay. I would agree, and I was happy that a lot of youths from the NRM were invited for that kind of discussion. It was about 2-3 days. And I would want to thank Norman for doing that job. And I would say, if such platforms keep cropping up, trust me, the discussions in this country will change.
Okay.
If you look at the generation, the current generation, we are the majority, yes, as we practically say.
As you proudly say.
Proudly and practically say. But not very many people would boldly speak up, okay? I'm one young person. If I go on air, on radio station or any TV platform, I would speak what I think represents my age bracket. I would speak what I think represents the values of what I stand for. Yeah. It hurts you. It hurts you to see so many young people, girls especially. I'm a feminist to my understanding of life. It hurts you to see very many young people who got pregnant as a result of the COVID-19 situation. And there is no clear government following. There is no clear government representation of such a group. No. There is no clear approach done by, let's say, the Ministry of Education, say the health ministry, okay? Or any other stakeholder that could be involved in this, okay? You've seen the turnouts. If you could look at the numbers of the turnouts in the rollout in the school. So it's worrying. As young people, of course, you are I would also challenge you as ladies, okay, to speak for yourself. Because one thing I've seen in society when we're doing our advocacy, we did a platform under Nile Media Group. We did a pageantry called Face of Gulu. The Face of Gulu was highlighting the plight of young mothers, the young child mothers. And it would hurt you that when we gave it as a project to the people contesting, we said, go to the community and ask if you could, on rough estimates, get the numbers of people who got pregnant right from within the vicinity of Gulu City. Don't go to the villages first, within the vicinity of Gulu City, and say, fine, we want to see how best we can push the plight, maybe to the next stakeholders. We may not have the resources, but trust me, one of the contestants went to the community asked around, just by mere asking around within the same
sampling.
locality, and the numbers are worrying. The numbers are worrying.
So I would like to know, where do you do your activism? Are you on social media or are you on ground?
Our activism is all around. You know, the digital space is one thing you can't underscore now.
Yeah, true.
No wonder everyone would fear Facebook, everyone would fear any platform. For us, we take these platforms as a way of reaching out to every other stakeholder.
Okay.
We do our activism on social media. We do our activism on radio, the mainstream media. We write. We do our activism using platforms we can create ourselves. If we don't have the platforms, we can create the platforms ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, a youth, an opposition youth that is watching us today, would you think that you being an NRM youth and being critical, you would maybe have access to these policymakers, and have you tried engaging them? Because we, the youth, think that people in NRM have access to these policymakers because you are in the same boat. Have you tried engaging them on some issues, critical issues like torture that is going on currently?
Thank you so much. On engaging people within the NRM pertaining certain things that affect society, I'll tell you this. I've not only engaged at the lowest level, I've engaged, including the president. And I'll tell you this, the president is also critical of the fact that, yes, the NRM left the young people. He knows that, he said that himself.
And so what is he doing about it?
What hurts me is the fact that the president will come and say one thing, and what we see is different. So you would wonder who is
Because he does not follow up.
We wonder who is exactly in charge. So it's a situation that you can't clearly understand. But of course, critically seeing things, you wonder why torture is being meted, and the people who are doing the torture are not brought to color.
You are actually saying the president is not a bad person, but the people he directs to, or the people he gives orders,
The people he works with.
You remember at some
you
point.
are putting him out of this.
You remember at some point, I'm not putting anyone out of the equation. Everyone is responsible in this country. The president is a citizen. And I don't think he would be happy to see someone being tortured. Of course, at some point, you've seen statements in the media, okay? These are not my statements. These are not my words.
But his statements, they beat him properly.
The president at some point spoke, and I think every activist in this country was celebrating him. He spoke like, at some point I felt like, is this the president speaking? I said, yes. If this is the direction, because some of us were very, very keen on telling him, you know what? If these things are to continue in this country, these are the same values you fought for. These are the same values that you say made you to go to the bush. So for us, we would expect you to be a human rights activist yourself.
Yeah.
And I think the direction the president did to come speak to the media and tell, that was more of a human rights speech. Saying even a soldier should not just mere back at you, okay?
Yeah.
Okay?
But he said something else.
That was a period when he spoke that.
The opposite is what is being done.
That was a period of, it was in the COVID-19, one of the COVID-19 addresses.
Yeah.
And I think that was a time when soldiers were beating people, mothers were being thrown away from the streets. Okay, LDUs, okay?
Yeah.
So to me, that speech was good. What Ugandans needed to see was the realization of that speech. You see, one thing that people in the NRM feel is they think if you say something that is right, you're wrong. I mean, you are supposed to be sidelined, okay? But I mean, haven't you seen people like Richard Todom, the Right Honorable Speaker, the Right Honorable Secretary General of the NRM, speaking bad about corruption, about nepotism, about segregation, about every ill that he sees wrong.
Don't you think Ugandans are tired of these speeches? They
Ugandans
have
action,
they have
definitely.
But how
spoken
can we
and-
eliminate corruption when these people who are corrupt are being protected by the state?
I'll tell you this.
by the president himself? Not
All of you have had the issues, the mafia rings and everything and all that, okay? There's what we call the deep state. There are people who look at this state as theirs, okay? There are people who are in the NRM and are really doing good work. You would have to appreciate them for that. But not every one of them is doing good work, okay? So as young people, the question would be, what are you doing in your capacity as a young person? What are you doing in your capacity as a platform like Songa to see that you speak on you or you speak your minds out? I'll tell you for a fact, Songa is a platform created for activism within the NRM. But do you know what they would do? We had a young lady, let me give an example of a young lady who is called Edna Ayero. Edna, because in our platforms we encourage especially leadership from women, young ladies, Edna decides to approach a approach the team of Songa and say, you know what, I want to challenge leadership. I want to challenge myself for leadership. And she says, yes, I'm going to contest for Yala MP slot. Edna puts her poster out there, Songa, and then she puts NRM logo there. And I'll tell you for a fact, within the space of just 1 week, Songa is already being labeled a rebel group within an NRM. Songa is already being labeled a noob faction within NRM, okay? Yet this lady has actually grown from within the NRM party, from an NRM stronghold family. They are now labeling her an NRM. So we challenged them and said, okay, fine. If you say she is from NRM, do you mean that this very family that has perhaps these persons in this country, key figures in this country, that I would not maybe perhaps mention their names, but they know themselves, are noob? Let us say you are the son to the president. And now because you are disagreeing with one or two values, or perhaps you're challenging leadership in a different capacity, they now start tagging you those names. That's what the NRM is, blackmail, maligning, if you speak your values. Like for me, they would say, why are you moving at this speed? They always have this kind of question. But of course, I'm a critical person about these things that go on in this country. There is no way, okay? There is no way the NRM will convince me to say every part of this country at the same level. No. You've heard of the parish model. Very good program on paper. The practicality is my question. You would hear the wrangles that will come with it, the controversies that will come with it. We pray that these programs are practical. You are a young person as me. What values have you seen in the youth livelihood program? What values have you seen in the Emyoga program that is seemingly not available for the young people or for the different sectors that they seem to see? It's more of a ghost program, okay? These are things that are in society.
It
These
is
are
the
things
Mighty
that,
Drive. We are with Bolanya, Tony. Are we going to the questions? Because our second hour will be specifically about awards. Nacha Narrator has a question. Does Bolanya Tony believe there is political will to promote youth agenda and fight injustices and human rights violations?
One, I would think this country has no political goodwill. I would say so.
It has no political goodwill.
Why would I say that? If you would bring it on the... You see the question that the politicians always argue about, which I would believe is their opinion. We have to respect it that way. And this is mine, and they have to respect it the way it is. We see representation in parliament. They say they have youth representation in parliament.
Yes,
of how many young
Five
people?
representation.
Five representation. And I would ask myself, I would ask the NRM or the president in this regards as the chairman of the party, because they're the ruling party. I would ask, if you say there's representation and there's goodwill for young people to take up space in leadership, why would you have 5 young people, okay, representing
75%.
over 78 now, okay,
Of
as
the
it stands,
population.
of the population? Does it make sense? It doesn't make sense.
It does make sense
does.
to him.
Not, of course,
Is it
to him.
about the numbers?
You see, there should be representation. The question was representation.
Yes.
And we have the representatives.
That's why
We
I
have
said
the
there's no goodwill.
representatives.
There's no goodwill. Certainly, there's no goodwill. You can't say young people are over 78 going to 80% of the population. That's a critical mass. That's really a huge number. Okay? They are the people who are supposed to be making decisions. Or if you're to make decisions, you can't make decisions on their behalf when they have no representation.
Should we be minding about the numbers or the capabilities and capacities of the people we send to Parliament?
Parliament works on the policy of numbers. Democracy is about numbers. If they are voting on youth issues, it's about numbers.
But most of these representatives in Parliament are youths. If you look at, okay, the 11th Parliament.
Let me give an example of the
specifically.
youth MP of my area. Honorable Quad Boniface is my friend. I share with him the same challenges. We always engage, okay? I interact with him, and one of the things is the representation. He is one MP covering a total districts of about 41 districts. One MP covering over 41 districts. Now, in a normal circumstance, in our normal Uganda, which is also not so normal in my thinking, is you have over 500 and something MPs.
529
MPs. All that number. And out of that 529, you have only 5. So
5 youth representatives.
Now, you count it out. This guy has 41 districts in northern Uganda, perhaps 41, 42 there. One districts in northern Uganda. How would you expect him to do his job? How is he going to consult everyone?
He needs to have a team that he works with.
He's
He can't work
overwhelmed.
alone.
I'll tell you, he's overwhelmed. Any youth MP is overwhelmed. Ask the one of Central Uganda. He will tell you his
The
challenges.
reason why they are not performing?
They basically go there and find no role to do. Because it is
But if you have 41 districts, how can
Right.
you fail to have a role to do?
I mean, I would ask you the same question. What have you seen your youth MPs do besides sitting and getting the money and keeping around?
It is because they are compromised, maybe.
So it's a question for it's a question for public consumption, okay?
Others actually go there to eat, to enjoy the money.
That's what I'm telling you. There is no clear sense of having to say special interest groups and then you give them 4 slots.
Don't you think
or
the
5
problem is
slots.
with these youths in particular? Because if we send you there to represent us, how can you reach there?
do we
Let me tell you the reality
money?
in the crowd. I'll tell you this. I'm a young person, done with my degree. If in the sense that I was not one person who could sit down and say, I'm going to have a company, a water engineering company, and let's say I'm going to do my job, I wouldn't have a job. But I'm qualified. How many young people are qualified there? At some point, they used to say we're not studying.
Right now,
very many young people have degrees.
Yes.
A degree is as good as a paper, not so? Do you see where we're going? We're having actually a situation whereby there are very many brilliant young people out there without jobs because there is an old person in an office who has refused to retire. There's a retirement age in Uganda. How many are retiring formally?
What happens in a country where the topmost doesn't want to retire? What do you expect from?
You see, the thing
followers?
that hurts very much is this, okay? That's why I told you, the president, the different stakeholders in this country, the leadership at the top need to have a very honest discussion. If in the fact that this country cannot have a honest discussion pertaining the future of the young people, pertaining the position of the young people in this country, trust me, we're sitting on a time bomb. There is a brewing anger in the public. Go and face the young person on the street. Ask him, how are you doing? How is everything moving on in the country? Are you okay?
No, we can't be doing
Just
fine
that.
in this Uganda.
No, that's what I would tell you. That is the easiest way to find out these things and sample them. The young people are having anger, both within the NRM where I am in the opposition, in those ones, especially the young people also have given up in politics.
As we go in for a short commercial break, one question before we break. Do you believe we should be termed as a minority group, as the youth?
I don't think the youth can only be termed as a minority group. Maybe for lack of better words in English, the youth is not looked at as a serious platform in the group. Maybe because of that.
Do we still qualify to be a minority group?
The youth doesn't qualify to be a minority group. So speaking authoritatively, we are the majority in this country.
Then
Practically,
the active ones are few.
Yes, that's why I would say. That's
We have
why I
the
would say.
activism. The active ones who are few.
I will tell you this for a fact. It's maybe because of platforms like People Power or Noop or wherever that try to champion youth agenda that could have opened the space for NRM to look at what they've done wrong, especially with the young people.
Yeah.
The NRM admits this. The president himself admits this, that they have at some point left the young people. Not to some point, I believe, to a big extent. Because look at our young people. Let us be realistic about these things. It is until we speak the truth that's when.
But
we
our
begin to
young people
understand.
even serious about the things that are taking place in their own country.
They're not active.
I think the young people are getting serious. I'll tell you for a fact.
So as you get serious, we can say.
If I may guide your thinking, I would think if you want to really understand that the young people are serious, organize public forums, organize this kind of debates, and you will see what I'm trying to mean.
Exactly. Thank you for
when you
organize
them and you don't give them money.
And you don't give them money.
Yes,
First
they will not
question:
come.
is there transport? Second one:
Transport
is there
allowance.
food?
Maybe in this part
We
of the
are
country.
going
But
in for a short commercial break, Mr. Tony. We'll be right back in our second hour, and we will be talking about awards.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
buli muntu azaalibwa n'eddembe lye ery'obwebange obadde okimanyi nti kikakatako okuuma eddembe lino eddembe lino likuggyibwako litya era ddi munnaffe toyitira bino n'ebirala birindirire mu puroguramu yaffe teeka ki n'abaweereza abo Nalukwago Emerin Katumba wamu ne Tumusiime Kato buli Lwakubiri ku ssaawa 5 ez'okumakya wano ku Alternative Digitalk.
Schools are open. Parents, guardians, have you prepared your adolescents that are pregnant and mothers for school? The government has given us national guidelines to assist with the responsibility of sending these girls back to school. Let us help to provide them with a safe, productive, and friendly environment for their learning. They are still our children living among us in our communities. Their pregnancies, becoming mothers before adulthood, affects them, their community, and our nation. All children have a right to education. Now, let's take them back to school because completing their primary and secondary school education is very important to their future careers, personal development, and being productive citizens of our nation. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Education and Sports, the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development.
How you beautiful Ugandans, it's your girl Tenjo. Welcome to the fancy floor. Who doesn't see my hair, guys? I am super glamorous. Remember, this is the only show where we're going to be talking about fashion.
Please, where are you think? Teaching.
What has been confusing you about fashion? Sorry, you said I should not smile. For all the information about fashion, maintenance of body shape.
I can wear bling bling when I'm going out. So you can wear bling bling going out or any occasion.
We shall be doing all this in the fancy floor. Remember, it airs every Thursday right from 8:30 to 9 with your girl, Teddy Tenjo. It is the fancy floor.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
It is our second hour. It is a Wednesday, the 16th day of February, the year 2022. We are still in the love month. Please keep on that love flowing. Throughout the year, by the way, don't end in February. Throughout the year, love so you will be loved. We still have Mr. E.O. Engineer Bolanya. Tony. The other one, I have actually desisted from pronouncing the name. So, sagala yakungamba oyogedde erinnya ly'omuntu obi. Naye abooluganda tubadde tugenze nnyo mu luzungu katuseemuko. Twogereko ku Luganda. Manyi oluzungu luyinza okusiiwuusa n'osiiwukira ne ku seeti wano. Atwogereko ku Luganda. Oli otaliri yani.
Negesta tubuzeeko mu Luganda.
Guest ayaye tamanyi Luganda. So it is going to be typically awards abalina ebibuuzo ebisigalidde tujja kubireeta nga show nga discussion yaffe ya awards ewedde. We really want to know the relevance of awards and what inspired him. Is it him or a team? If it is a team, what inspired you guys?
He's an engineer by profession. He's an activist. So now we are seeing him in awards. So we really
what
want
inspired
to know how
you to come up with the Nile Awards, Nile Media Awards?
It's good we started from the Songa one. Now we're going to the
awards.
Yeah. Besides my engineering role, I did a course that is all round. It's a versatile course. It's a course that allows me to be flexible. It's by systems engineering. It's only offered, I think, in one university, in Gulu University. So that course allows you to do things in media, in engineering, and engineering all rounds, computer, programming, and all that. And you can also do works in architectural work, you can do civil works, you can do water works, and all that. So as I was in the lockdown, we gave birth to a company we've called Nile Media Group. The company is youth-led. It's a multimedia company that seeks to empower young people in media. So we give platform in training media. We give platforms in trying to see how best we can encourage more young people to take up media roles and also take up the media space. Because among the things that shapes opinion in society, it's the media.
Exactly.
What you guys will say here is what the public will take, most probably.
Yeah.
And so we looked at that as from my background, and I said, okay, fine. What made me popular and a person of influence in society, which I am, very many young people look up to me, is the media. So I said, fine, if it is the media, then one way of doing it is to get to the media itself and see how best we can control the space of media, because also there is that queue in the media. And I would want to appreciate Alternative Digitalk and Alternative Uganda as a whole platform. For I have seen young people only, and I'm being hosted by young persons, and I'm proud about that.
Okay.
I feel the mission that we have back there which is for the youth, by the youth.
Yeah.
That's what we stand for. That if I have a young person doing something, how best do I support that young person? So I am youth biased in my own understanding of life. So we formed that company, and we've been running for the past 2-3 years now. And we felt it's prudent enough to recognize people who've done exceptional work. And you would wonder, Digitalk, Alternative Digitalk is based in Kampala. Why would a brand that is based in Gulu, works anyway in the whole country, recognize Alternative Digitalk as one of the nominees? Among the things we're looking at was, we've called it Nile Media Awards, yes, but we're looking at society in 3 perspectives. In media, the performing arts industry, and people in exceptional categories of society in service. So that's what we looked at. So that is in the categories that we looked at. So we have about 30 categories that we put out, and then we have one exceptional category that we're going to award. So basically that's what we're looking at. We're looking at people who've done exceptional work. It's about recognizing excellence. That's what we're trying to do.
We've been having awards where people are given awards, companies receive awards. What is the relevancy of these awards to these particular people, groups that you give them to?
You see, one thing I learned is one thing that awards are just accolades, but they're a very strong representation in society. Okay? If so to speak, I've seen, I don't want to disagree with any other awards company, but I want to appreciate everyone for doing their roles in their different capacities.
Yes.
And I think what we're doing as Nile Media is to shape society, okay, in our own capacity. We also would want to encourage more brands to come and see how best we can work out society. Ours is youth-oriented. Ours is, you may not be a young person, so to speak, but you could have done some work that affects 1 or 2 lives in the young space.
In the young space. So you recognize that person.
Definitely. So that's what we're looking at. It's about recognizing those different exceptional groups in society.
Okay.
You would see media affects young people in a very long scale. Entertainment, in terms of information, okay?
Yeah.
Edutainment and all that. And then if you look at society in terms of the performing arts, that's what the young people do. Society in terms of critical areas of service, okay? That's what affects young people. Opinion leaders are in this country. We listen to them. How best do we recognize their works? So we try to, in the concept, the idea was to recognize at 90% from northern Uganda, then at 10% as a whole country. So you would find from northern Uganda the nominees are cross-cutting from Acholi sub-region, Lango sub-region, West Nile sub-region, Karamoja, and then Teso. And then the 10% is where you would see the other representations of all.
So why is it 90% northern Uganda?
I'll tell you for a fact. That's why I was arguing earlier on, okay? That if this country was honest enough, this country would not treat every region as it is. There is a region, let's say Central Uganda has issues that affect it so much. You've seen the issues of land, the Milo land system, and the questions that come in with land, okay?
Yes.
That are critical in this part of the country, okay? Then when you go to Eastern, there are issues with cattle, blah, 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 and all that. You go to Northern Uganda, there are issues that are pressing so much. Northern Uganda has been through war for the past 30-something years. So it's about 35 years behind other regions. So you'd expect the country, the government to treat this region with a lot of needs, like, so to speak, special interest group, okay? But of course, they may not really take it like that. So for us as people who understand the hemisphere and the region as young people, would think the best way to do that is, first of all, to see who are the people who contributed in peace making in the region. They've never been recognized at a bigger scale. Like Nile Media is trying to do that. Who are the people who have contributed in trying to push the plight as media? Okay? That's what we want to look at. So that's why we have that representation. We've broken it down clearly.
So who is financing this whole thing?
These awards, no one is financing these awards. These awards are being financed by the company itself, Nile Media Group. Just like I told you, it's youth-led. We've been trying to grow over time. Our style of doing work is any resources we generate does the next activity. Okay? Like we did the Face of Gulu. The Face of Gulu now is trying to, it was a pageantry trying to highlight the plights of young ladies in society who got affected by COVID-19. That entirely was supposed to be work of Ministry of Gender and Youth Affairs, but they've not done the work.
So you decided to do
So we decided to, as young people in space of advocacy. You know, media is about advocacy.
Exactly.
Every media personality is an activist, because at some point you'll speak about something,
yes, something that
affects society. You are the mirror of society, your representation of society. So our role was to see how best we can push this agenda forward. So we pull resources among us ourselves and push this. Of course, if they're well-wishers, they come on board, but like for an awards show like this, you may not easily expect so much. But of course, we also expect a few other people to partner with us, like their sponsors, their brands that can come and say, okay, fine, we will support this cause. Yeah.
We've had awards where they talk about the same things that you're talking about right now, but how different are the Nile Media houses from these other awards that we've had?
I wouldn't, just like I told you, I don't want to speak in regards to other awards. I'm speaking in regards to the Nile Media Awards. Yeah, so ours, just like I told you, it's youth-led, youth-managed for a youth-centric vision, which is for the youth, by the youth. So it's about recognizing excellence, and we want to do this in a very simple and a very organized manner. One, perhaps maybe the other things that we try to do is to be as much transparent as possible. We rolled out the nominees. Our interest was now, yes, after rolling out the nominees, we want to listen to society. What is society's perception about the list of nominees we put out? Like I would tell you, for a fact, very many people came and was asking, what is alternative Digitalk? And you have so many followers in other parts of the country that you may not know. You see, when you're in media, you may not know the space you hold. But Facebook is as big as anyone. YouTube is as big as anything. That's why even any mainstream media platform, any TV brand around there, would want to have a stream on Facebook. People watch TV on the go. At some point, I'll tell you, you look at your phone more than you sit on the TV like this with the remote, okay? So things have changed. The space has changed. Yes. So being in Kampala or not broadcasting on GoTV or any other platform is not what we're looking at. That's why you would see on the nominees category, they say high-end.
I was even wondering
looking at that.
How you categorized alternative Digitalk, that is an online media platform with NBS and then the NTVs that are on the mainstream.
Because we're looking at that space. That's high-end space, that digital space.
How do we balance this? Because if you look at NTV, it streams on social media. It streams live on Facebook, on YouTube. And then they also have the mainstream. They have, because if you tune in on GoTV or free-to-air, you can get NTV. But if you're not on social media, you can't get alternative Digitalk anywhere else.
See, that's why I told you. Very many of the people who access social media, it's us, the young people.
Yeah.
Ours, as I told you, is youth-centered, youth-centric. It's for the youth, by the youth, trying to recognize other young people in other spaces. So for us to really get to nominate you, we would look at, yes, what is your impact on the young people? what space are you using that can reach the young people? So the area was, yes, you may be in mainstream, but if you're doing social media and you're doing it very well, like Alternative Digitalk does, would recognize you. Yes, you are following. People who watch your shows are there.
Why you, one would think, actually, me who has been listening and following your discussion up to where we are, I would actually say that you are mainly concentrated in Gulu and those ends, northern Uganda. Wouldn't people think that I have been isolated or something?
No, not really as such. What connects us is bigger than what would divide us in this.
Because if you had done the face of Gulu, one would think you would do the face of Kalamoja.
Definitely.
So do the face of Ginger before you even give out the awards. I don't want to leave the program.
Just like, maybe to cut you short, we are the youth-led organization. We are doing what can transpire, what can inspire other young people to do the same thing we're doing. Ours is a multiplier effect. We're doing the face of Gulu, okay? If we had the resources, the necessary resources, financially and any other kind of resources, we would do the face of Kampala, because we also expect certain challenges to be affecting Kampala people or young people.
Yes.
We would go and do the face of, let's say, Oima, the face of Karamoja, the face of, let's say, Tororo, and all that, okay? But it's about doing one good thing that we would expect to inspire the young people. Like, let me give you an example. Having done the face of Gulu, so many people approached us. We don't hold rights to the word, the face of everything. And say, we want to do this, and we think what you've done is good. Now, for me, that's the yardstick of our marking. That yes, now that we've done this, and it has inspired other young people from other parts of the country, not necessarily northern Uganda, because at least we got calls and communications from Eastern, from Western, which is to us a very good thing, okay? So that is what we would count as our yardstick of success. Okay. Not necessarily moving everywhere and up and about, yeah.
In this category of media personality, the names here are Benson Angom, Juma Jami. And then if you look at the other names, they all seem to be coming from one region. But don't you think that we have other people from other regions who also have done something good that need to be appreciated?
In the categories?
The media personality.
Okay, if you look at...
They seem to be coming from one region.
In the nominees category, just like I explained to you, the angle was to give recognition, 90% to northern Uganda. Then the 10% representation is this side, okay? So if you look at what I was trying to do, let me go through the categories. If you look at the media personalities, we have someone from NBS TV, which NBS is from Kampala, but the guy works from that side. Then you have radios like Mega FM, Mighty Fire FM, and some other radio stations, okay? But when you come to the issues of high-end TV brand, you'll find there's Alternative Digital, there's NTV, there's SEETV, which is in Kampala, but there's also NBS, there's West Nile TV, which is in West Nile, there's One Low TV, which is in Kampala here. So it's about mixing up. When you go to the high-end radio brand again, when you go to the high-end radio brand, you'll see RX Radio, which is broadcasting from a digital platform in Kampala. You'll see Mega FM, you'll see Capital One, you'll see Capital FM. So it's mixed. It's mixed not to 100% whole country, but to 10% other parts.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
When a person does something, maybe they have a goal or they have some specific thing they want to achieve. With these awards, what is your goal? What is your target? What do you want to achieve by doing these awards?
By doing the awards, our target is to achieve not less as we would expect. We want to achieve as much as possible. Recognition. We want to recognize people who have done work or brands that have done work in our space as young people. Okay? So the achievement, maybe I don't know what you're trying to mean by what do we want to achieve. Of course, we want to achieve a lot as a space, as Nile Media Group.
But
this
not the main media group. The main objective of these awards. It is simply appreciating people's efforts towards the youths.
First of all, one thing we wanted to do was to identify.
Identify.
Then recognize.
Then recognize.
Yes. So of course we're looking at. Of course, it's about promotion. If let's say an artist is recognized for an exceptional work in a different category, that person feels promoted. That person is. We may not really give monetary value, but the attachment to the awards, that's the prestige, the prestigiousness in the awards. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, as we are nearing our That means to the end of the show, I really want to know, people have been in my inbox, how do we nominate, what is the roadmap, when is the main event? So could you tell us how do people nominate? Have we reached to that period of nominating?
Oh, okay, thank you. We've not given the platform to everyone to nominate. We as a company, we as a team of Nile Media Awards. You
actually nominating within yourselves?
Not nominating within ourselves.
That is not fair at all. We would nominate for ourselves.
We set out the goals. No, that's like I said, the culture could have been people would organize awards, would allow people to nominate.
Yes.
But this is how we're doing ours.
Not everyone is nominating.
We sat a team down, just like not everyone has been nominated. We sat a team down and said, okay, fine, our role is to put up an academy that will look at all the angles, look at the objectives, look at the roles. Maybe perhaps I would read you a few things that were guiding these yardsticks of perhaps of what we're trying to do. We're trying to say the idea behind the awards is to identify, recognize musicians, artists, and media brands and exceptional categories of society who have made and are making great contribution to the advancement of media, music, and the arts industry in the country. So the award will showcase the greats of Northern Uganda and the country at large. That's what we would put out. Then in the key target objectives and areas we're looking at, we're saying this perhaps is a groundbreaking event by Nile Media Group that is aimed at achieving and showcasing the talents in the young people in media, in the arts industry, and other society aspects of life. And we're trying to promote and highlight the roles of music and arts in playing socio-economic development of the country. That's a big paying industry. The arts industry is quite paying. Yeah. Then our idea was also to bring different stakeholders in private and public sector, including community radio stations, and in the supports arts, and highlight the plight and roles being played by the digital platforms in the country. Of course, also we're trying to raise awareness on the rights of media, the musicians, and how they can be protected. And of course, also to bring the business, community, and the musicians, and the media in one platform to discuss and see how best they can foster development.
You actually came up with a team of people that are going to nominate. And that,
no,
is that right?
It's not like we came up with a team of people that are going to nominate. As a company, we have people we work with.
But and those people are from Gulu and Northern Uganda. Tony, this team of people is from Northern Uganda.
Not necessarily that. Not necessarily that. We, just like I told you, there's an academy that sits and we've picked representation. How would we know Alternative Digitalk has done all this extensive work if I only sit alone? I wouldn't do that alone. How would one person come up with all this? Okay, you'd actually be shocked and be shocked that the brands that were recognized and they were like, oh, the people who recognize us outside there, because we sent out a team. We have, just like I told you, we have extensive youth contacts in the country. So it's a matter of us reaching Western Uganda and say, oh, what's good that side? It's a matter of us calling West Nile and saying, can you get us this? So we have all this information coming in, okay, that we sit and then try to shift through.
For example, if someone is biased about a certain media house, how will they give you fair results when they are biased about this media house just because of the way they handled him, or just because they have their certain
just like I told you, the idea was about fairness. The idea was about looking at what people would first bring. Okay, we listen to them and see what's on table with us. Okay. We were trying to have a comparison.
So is this event is going to be virtual? Is it a physical attendance? How are the people?
It's not going to be a virtual event. It's going to be a physical event. It's going to be a red carpet event. It's a corporate event that will be at Boma Hotel in Gulu. And we are looking at trying to have an all-round event. It's going to be on Easter, Holy Saturday, the day before Easter. Oh. That is 16th of April. And someone said, how would we vote? The online voting, and what is the platform for voting? So we were looking at, just like I told you, we wanted to understand society. So you would understand, yes, we were trying to look digital, we're trying to look young, but there are people who don't have access to the smartphones. So we're going to have about 3 platforms for voting. One would be the online voting platform. That will be via our site, our website, that was already developed. We've already tested it. It's about unrolling it out. And then we have the SMS voting platform.
Through these normal SMSs?
Yes, so that we don't limit other angles of society from voting. And then we shall have the academy. So in the event that we have three platforms of voting, we believe we can have a credible result here. That's what we're looking at.
One would wonder, what exactly are you going to get from these awards? Because you're investing in, but how are you going to gain from them?
The issue is not the money. You see, that's what has killed society. The issue is not about the money. The issue is what mark do you leave to be remembered about a certain brand? Like let me give you an example. When we put out the nominations, and let me look at there's a specific category that was of interest, okay, to very many people. The last category that was not a nominated category, we called it the Nile Meritorious Honorary Award that is being given to Lacho Hospital. Lacho Hospital, I would bring to your attention, as we're having the COVID-19 situation, there was a hospital in Kulu that rose on the map on media attention. This was a hospital that has been at the forefront of fighting Ebola those days. No recognition. This was a hospital that when we're having COVID-19 and there was a shortage of oxygen all around in the country, and oxygen was, people were paying in millions of money. This hospital that came and said, for us, if you're having services from us, oxygen would be at 50,000. Anyone would basically access that. Now that was out of this country. That was out of Uganda, out of our normal Uganda.
Yes.
So we felt as a team that there was that one brand that we could recognize outside, putting them to compete. I mean, you can't put Lacho to compete with another hospital. That was putting a very high price, okay? Including government facilities. And this is a private hospital. So we felt that was very, very much, so much of a humanitarian service. Then maybe also, if you would look at, you were saying we're only nominating Northern region brands. You would look at, there's a category that says the Nile Music Connectivity. The artists that were nominated, that was a specific category that has only brands from this part of the country. You have Palazzo, you have Wakibenda, you have Shiba, you have Leader Jasmine, Zawi, and then Sex Biranji. People who have been doing exceptional work in this part of the country. Then, of course, if you look at the other categories, like, let me give you an example. Exceptional creative program directors. MC Raj is doing work in Vision Group in Kampala. MC Prince is also doing work within Kampala with one of the TV stations. So it's not really that we're looking at that side. Then if you look at, especially the DJs we recognize DJ Hats who plays in Kampala. There's DJ Richie also plays in Kampala. So it was about playing, trying to cover every other aspect of life. Of course, the 10% that we're trying to talk about, we tried to cover it here. Then maybe one angle that could be of very much interest, of course, outstanding comedy act. Sundiata is a comedian that does work in the whole country. Same with Little Brian. So we're trying to balance up the space. Of course, the other local talents that we also try to recognize. Then if you come to see the angle of, let me see, there's a category that would be of your interest that would suit what we're trying to mean by for the youth, by the youth, the category of the Young CEOs Achievers Honorary. That category recognizes young people who are doing something in business, in entrepreneurship, okay? So you'd find that young girls who are doing businesses, like one of them is Loremi Tours. This is a young girl who is running a tour company. And we felt, yes, as young CEOs, as young people who are doing work, we should motivate the young people and recognize them. There's a young gentleman who is running a media company called Freedom Media, okay? He's organized the young people who is in a team with the young people who are social media influencers, and they're doing a good job. People pay them for their services. So we felt, yeah, that was good to recognize them. They're running a few advertisement companies, LED screens and all that, which is good, and they're employing young people, which was okay. We also have a young company called Kopengo Safaris. There's a young company that has changed the space in northern Uganda called Activism. These guys, they have been helping young artists when they want to do their videos, they do their lightings, they do events, basically. So what they're doing is also revolutionary in their industry, okay? And then there's another young group of people who are called Tech Ref. For them, there is about teaching young people about technology. What's on Facebook, or how do you protect yourself on the cyber issues. So that is what they're interested in. It's a CBO, but they're doing a very good job. And then, of course, maybe the last company I would say they're doing a good job also is Teens House of Music. Young people who are doing music production. Then there's New World Photography. For them, their role is, they've changed actually the photography industry in that side of the country. So ours was to recognize and see how best we could put hands to work with these different brands, okay? With different brands. And then, of course, because Northern Uganda came through a long walk of war, we said, yes, fine. Why don't we have a platform that recognizes outstanding peacemakers, people who have contributed, people who fought hard in the peacemaking. And then we put there Honorable Cecilia Gwal. She's a member of parliament, I think, from Lango. There's an ambassador called Ambassador Bigombe. There's Lucky Joyce Bosmiko-Tim, who is a musician, and he's been really singing about the peacemaking process. And then the bishop, who is outspoken, is also outspoken about things that happen in society. Bishop Odama, John Baptist Odama, I think you've heard of him. That is one gentleman, when there is torture, he will come and speak about it. So even in the peace process, he clearly spoke about the peace process. And then also we thought of recognizing key people who have done exceptional work, especially in the humanitarian service. We there were 2 people in the category. There was Jolie Lake, who was running the Invisible Children, trying to see that the children of the war, okay? She was running an organization that was trying to support that kind of people. And then there's also John Paul Kifasi. There's a big organization called Irene Gleason Foundation that they've been trying to support young people. They have a school that people study for free, and we felt, yeah, let's put them in these categories. Let society recognize their work. Yes, just like I told you, so many people have not been nominated.
Yes.
Not everyone can be nominated, okay? This is an annual award. This is the first episode or the first edition of the awards. It's going to be happening every year. And for us as young people, we said, yes, very many people are doing awards. Why not the young people? Why don't we do something that focuses on what affects the values and the lives of the young people? And that's why we're doing this. It doesn't mean that when something big is being done in the country, a young person or young people cannot do it. So ours is to change the dynamics of how things are done. That's why I'm very proud of this Digitalk. Alternative Uganda, because it's youth-led. I'm seeing young people right from the doorway up to the studio, the cameraman, the production team, and I'm proud about what I'm seeing. This is exactly what we stand for as young people. For the youth,
people,
by the youth.
Okay.
Yeah,
As
young
Jeremiah
people
Mchibi, I saw Alternative Digitalk nominated in your awards. This was categorized with mainstream medias. Is it a balanced way, adding an online media with mainstream?
Media is media, online or not online. Just like I told you, and maybe for the interest of every other viewer.
Yeah.
Media has changed. Every media is running to the digital platforms.
But they also have the mainstream.
I'm telling you this. Very many people now feel more comfortable when they're driving to work. No one carries a TV in their car. Everyone is here. You spend more time on your phone, okay?
Yeah.
And that means the future of media is here. That's why you see the companies like Next Media that has decided to do a lot on Facebook. They actually have more followership on Facebook than on the mainstream. You'd find more people watching TV on their phones, like me. If I want to have updates, I don't need to wait for newspaper tomorrow. I don't need to wait for another mainstream media to put it in their live broadcast news. If I can get on Facebook and see what I want to see. Real-time work, okay? So the idea is to change the perception of like that kind of person who thinks media is supposed to be TV, like on Go TV, on remote. TV has changed. We can have a platform like RX Radio. RX Radio has a followership that shocks you, okay? People listen to them. And of course, very many TV stations now have TV platforms on the app. I mean, there are mobile applications that you can watch TV on. So just like at some point, people were hesitant to buy smartphones. At this point, people will also run away from the remote kind of TV. People are moving with the digital platforms.
But
that is the way to go. That's what technology is. They say, if you refuse change, change will change you. Definitely everyone is buying a smartphone. Even in the towns, in the villages now, people are buying smartphones. Yes.
Don't you think we needed to have a category where we would categorize the online media houses separately from the mainstream?
I will tell you for a fact, the houses, the brands that were doing media work, perhaps the same as Digital Alternative, but were not nominated, okay?
Yeah.
That are complaining that why were we not nominated? And our reasons were, you should have done or should have been doing exceptional work within the youth space. Our idea. Perhaps maybe the pride should have been with Alternative Digitalk, yes, or any other platform that could have been nominated in this category, yes. We are with the big shots. You see, when you're competing, compete among the stars. Compete among the stars, okay? There are very many people who are complaining that we've not been nominated, and our approach is, this is what we did to get you nominated. This is what we did to get this. We started analyzing this work for the past 2 years, okay? We've been looking at this.
So when do people start voting?
The voting platform, we've now given that window. That window was to explain to those ones who are making complaints. And we were listening to society. So we've been responding, we've been trying to assess our systems. And I think our systems are ready. And there's a team, I'm simply a group CEO, there's a team that is working on the final arrangements. And I think everything is ready. It's about now an announcement. The awards will be launched formally. The roadmaps, perhaps there will be a launch of the awards in one of the series of events. After the launch of the awards, we shall have, that is unveiling the awards, then we shall also have unveiling of the accolades. The accolades are quite prestigious, I will tell you, for a fact that every person would want to have it. Yeah, we shall unveil the design of the awards. They were brought from China. They are done in golden and white color, so we're trying to see what works best, but perhaps we'll go with the golden one. And then what else? After unveiling the awards, we shall then give a roadmap on the voting, okay? How the voting will be done. And then perhaps, of course, we've already told you where the awards will take place. It will take place in Gulu at Boma Hotel. And it will be a red carpet and corporate event on the Holy Saturday, which is the day before Easter. Yeah, of course, and I would, of course,
the day after Good Friday.
The day after Good Friday. And of course, I would invite you, of course, also as Alternative Digitalk. And one thing I would want to appreciate about your brand is, of course, the fact that, leaving alone the youth that is running the company, but the fact that you also revolutionized media. The fact that there's a program that I used to follow here. It's called what? The Drive?
The Mighty Drive.
That's done in the van. That's a good one. Why wouldn't you take it to other parts of the country? Would be really glad to see such in other parts of the country, engaging young people. So perhaps mine is basically to open the space. That yes, that part of the country is welcoming you guys for the work you're doing. That part of the country, or the world, or the country, Northern Uganda at large. Of course, because there are people who watch Alternative Digitalk from the diaspora, okay?
True, yeah.
And they follow this, okay?
Yeah.
So you would find that GoTV is not in the diaspora.
Exactly.
It's worldwide. Facebook is worldwide. YouTube is worldwide. That's why TV has to go worldwide. It's digital. You can't argue about digital brands now. Yeah.
Nathaniel Rita is asking, is it going to be a vote or each day someone can vote?
No, it's going to be one vote. The system was developed in a way that if you vote more than once, it can send a spam on your phone and you can't vote again. We have a very good technical, just like I told you, we have a very good technical team that developed the codings, and you can't mess around with the system.
Okay.
Yeah. So one person per vote.
Namirembe Angela is asking, General Bolanya Oleng should tell us more on why he left opposition.
Okay. She's taking us back to the politics.
We had concluded the award, so we can go back to politics.
So people know you.
So we can go back to politics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Namirembe Angela is a very strong comrade of mine, a very good friend of mine. We share a lot of ideals as young people. She's a youth leader. She was a youth leader, I think, from the days of the people power, and I don't know what transpired in the noob issues. But she's a very good person I admire. Very many young people in Northern Uganda admire her. Very many people in the country, young ladies and of course gentlemen, admire her.
Yes.
And so to speak, it's not like why did I leave? The point is, what am I standing with? What is my stand? My stand remains the same. Namirembe Angela should know me. I am one person who is fighting for change. Perhaps I felt maybe that the change that I'm fighting for is not coming as fast as I'm seeing. So I felt maybe if I get closer.
It's not coming as fast as
yes,
so you actually decided.
Maybe if I get closer. My drive is this. maybe Angela needs to understand that what I'm now trying to do is this. I'm trying to fight for change from within. You heard what I said.
Can you fight for change? Can you fight for change when you're in government?
Just like I told you, I'm fighting for change from within.
You cannot fight the devil when you're working with the devil.
No, that's like I told you. Not everything that happens within the NRM is bad. There are very many bad things that happen in the NRM or in the NRM government. But there are also very good things. Like, so to speak, let me tell you this. There are good roads, okay? This is one thing that I've found the difference that I've been trying to see. You'd find an opposition person. Opposition is not a bad thing. You're supposed to provide
good
alternatives,
roads,
okay?
You have talked about good roads, right?
No, let me give my opinion. Opposition as a thing, as a platform, NRM is a platform, opposition is a platform. Opposition in the real thinking of my understanding is supposed to provide platform for alternative views.
Yes.
But you'd find an opposition person will drive from Kampala to Gulu on good roads, then go and quarrel with government or raise their things about government, which is okay. I would expect them to do this. I would expect them to say, yes, we drove on good roads, came to Gulu, but there's this thing that is wrong that we would have done better as a government. Trust me, there's the anger that is boiling in opposition was created by the regime itself, okay? If very many young persons are going to the opposition, it's not because they want to go there, it's because they have faced the real truth that Bobby Wine speaks about, or Chagulanyi speaks about. These are the realities of society. I will tell you a fact. If Chagulanyi says there is unemployment among the young people, who am I to say there's employment? There's no employment. People have no jobs. Angela agrees with me that these things in society are wrong and we need to tell them. Me having maybe in the NRM does not mean I'm going to lose my head, okay? And speak with my stomach. I'm going to speak with my head and tell the public and the country that yes,
you crossing to NRM means that you will be compromised on certain things and you will not speak your mind because...
I would ask you for a fact.
Yeah.
If you would challenge me to say one thing that you think I'm compromised on. I am speaking about torture and I'm saying torture is bad. I'm speaking about the corruption that is within the system. I'm speaking about the bad things that the mafias are doing and that is wrong. I'm asking questions of who is directly in charge of the deep state because you don't understand certain things. When the president says torture is bad, do not even back, a soldier should not even back at you. Then tomorrow we see Kakwenza being beaten up and down.
Someone sent me
even if Kakwenza had said all those bad words, okay? I don't think that is what he deserves. There are laws in this country. Put him in the courts of law.
We have laws. Yes, we have laws in this country, but they're not.
But we have laws that are not.
Just like I told you, we have very good policymakers within the NRM, very intelligent professors, very brilliant people in this country who contribute to this country. The problem we have are putting the paper into work. Okay? Putting paper into work. Everyone, let me ask you this. And at some point, I don't want to agree with the president for saying or for believing that when someone steals money from public coffers, that person must not be apprehended.
Yeah, they're investing it in the
you
country.
See, that is wrong. You already, because when you say someone stole good government money, good amounts of money, and they're walking scot-free.
And I built a hospital.
Let me give an example. Let me give an example. Amam Mbabazi fested roughly when he went to campaign in northern Uganda, because people were even saying, yes, you are in charge as the prime minister. You are the premier of this country. Money was stolen. And that money was directly helped northern Uganda. PRDP funds. Where is that money? Billions of money. Who was arrested? People. You'll find that the people who have been arrested are people who actually were just victims of the situation, circumstance.
Yes.
Okay?
But the people who are enjoying this money are given ministries.
That is what I'm saying. Why would you tolerate corruption from within?
In the 10 points program of NRM, there is elimination of corruption.
Let me give you an example. The Speaker of Parliament, who is sick, we pray he gets well. The Speaker of Parliament, during the anti-corruption day in Kololo, so to say, spoke and said, Mr. President, I am the Speaker of Parliament, the Deputy Speaker then. If there is none of us who is corrupt here, that person should get up and walk out of this venue. Who walked out? It means the president knows he's corrupt. It means the speaker himself knows he's corrupt. That was said on public TV. That is in the public media. So the corruption to speak is not something I am the first to speak about. People are speaking about these things.
Okay.
So that means if I am in the NRM, it does not mean I will lose my head from speaking what is wrong. And I will also appreciate the NRM for what they've done. They've done a few good things. They've done a few bad things. They've done very many bad things, very many good things. So the issue is, what best do we need to go and do about as a country? For me, I would think, just like I still stick to, we need to have a very honest discussion as a country if we're to move forward. Otherwise, this country is sitting on a time bomb. This is not because I am seeing things happening around. Because everyone is seeing bad things happening around, and everyone is having anger. Me, I'm speaking from the youth perspective. Every young person in this country, majority of the young person in this country, are having a lot of anger on the government, on the state, for failing to do their duties of putting at least something to the young people.
Someone sent me a message that since you're an NRM member, I think it's NRM that is funding the Nile Media Awards.
No, not to speak so. You guys would bear me witness. We're running a company that is youth-led, that is youth-managed, that is youth-centered. We mobilize resources among ourselves. Just like I told you, I'm running my engineering company. We always raise our resources ourselves. We have works that we do, okay? We do documentaries, we do other works that can raise us money. No, that is not questionable, at least for my understanding. Not everyone in the NRM, by the way, is getting money from the NRM. Some people are in the NRM and are very broke and poor. If NRM says, listen, this is what the NRM says. The NRM says it's a mass party with about 14 million registered members. And what is the population of poor people in Uganda? The numbers are worrying, not so? Over 35. So where is the opposition number? If NUP says, if NUP got 3.5% of the votes, okay? No, they got 38%, 30-something percent, over 30-something percent.
I think it was 34.
Around there. Now, that is the number that we got. Now, does it mean that the bigger number that the president got is the representation of the number of the poverty line that we have? Because if very many Ugandans are poor, and then NRM says they got the majority of the votes, it means very many members of the NRM are poor. So you didn't get my point. It doesn't mean that if someone is in the NRM, that person will have the money. That person could actually literally be broke.
If someone is in the NRM and they know how to lobby like you do, they will lobby money from NRM and you will get it and finance your awards. That is the logic behind it.
No, not really.
That is it. Tony.
Yes, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this for a fact. Let me give you this. If let us say the FDC wants to hire my media company, it's a company, non-partisan. They want to hire my company to, let's say, do work for them. They say live stream a content, do this and this. We don't refuse that. The same thing, if NRM comes tomorrow and says we want to live stream our work, maybe you want to hire your services or maybe influencers and this to do your work, these young people are getting employed, okay? Yeah. You don't block people from doing that. If, let's say, a government stakeholder wants to give you a contract to do this work and this work, you can't refuse because it is income generation, okay? That is basically what we're doing.
Okay. One would even wonder, why did you leave opposition to join NRM? Were the issues that you were fronting during that time addressed? And that is the reason as to why you crossed from the opposition to NRM?
Let me tell you for a fact. The issue is people fail to understand opposition. There are people in opposition who are very critically intelligent. One of them is Angela. Me and Angela know a lot of things that we may not speak of on camera. But me and Angela understand that the realities of this country can be fronted from any angle, okay? If I have the capability and the platform to speak to the president and tell him, the president, you've been leaving the young people and this is very bad. And he agrees with me that they've been leaving young people. And perhaps to a small extent or to any extent, they've heard it from me. It's better than me shouting from outside and he never hears. And I also appreciate the values that Angela would come and say, because she speaks with the young value and zeal, that yes, there are a group of young ladies who have been having these challenges in society, in the country. Me as Angela, I will speak on their behalf from any platform. These are just platforms. Angela is using a platform, maybe from any angle, to speak for the young people, and we appreciate her for that. It is just about platform.
Don't you think that is another problem that youths have?
That what?
You're in the opposition, you're talking, you're fronting issues, and then after some time,
they fish you.
They fish you.
No, it's not about fishing. It's not about fishing. It's not
because
about
the way NRM is fishing youths from the opposition.
It's not about fishing.
A few days back, they fished a certain group, the Chikankane group. They're saying that it was NUP, and then now they are.
It's not about
now
fishing.
NRM.
Let me tell you this for a fact. Just like I'm telling you, there is a growing number of young people in the NRM who have the same thinking and ideology of what people in opposition could speak. Like for me, I want to say, for me, if something is wrong, I would tell it that it is wrong. If it is right, within my conscience and my opinion, I'll tell it is right.
As we
So
get
for
to
me,
the
for
end
me,
of
for
the
me,
show,
the point is about how best can this country work for everyone. This country must work for everyone. Because even, let me tell you, the reality is this. Even those ones in the opposition, they are being paid by the same government.
So we don't have opposition in
No, it is platform.
You
Because
actually
if they are
found
paid-
no reason why you should be staying in opposition because
Yes,
being
because
in
they are
opposition and
paid.
in NRM there is no
It's
difference.
a platform. It's a platform altogether.
Actually, I want Tony
It's a platform
to
altogether.
inform the public what is the relevance of you talking to the president and he agreeing there is a crisis, as the PFT terms it, and then not doing anything. Yes, he agrees there is a problem, but he has not done anything about it.
I
Are you
think-
taking as an achievement because you met the president?
The problem may not be the president or the president speaking his policies. The president might be the system created. Because corruption a person? Corruption is a system. It's a racket. It starts from her, comes to me, then to you. So it would have moved in a circle. It's a racket. It's a system gone bad.
And what would you, as an NRM youth, advise the president or the people in that system to do to get away with corruption? Is there even hope that there will be no corruption in Uganda someday?
I will tell you, the reason why the president forms another anti-corruption agency like the one run by Nakalema in State House
the State
is
Anti-Corruption
because the
Unit.
president lacks trust in other agencies that are supposed to be doing their work, like the IGG, okay?
But the IGG is doing her work. She
No.
did a survey and then she brought a report that Mr. Museveni said, no, you don't touch these people.
Thank you.
So how will these
So you are
systems
answering
work?
me in a better way.
No, how will these systems work when
That's
they
why I
are-
told you, it is a system gone bad. Fighting corruption needs what we call the
You
political
are-
goodwill. The politicians need to accept.
What you are insinuating here is that the situation is beyond the president is... Actually, the president cannot manage the situation.
the situation
now.
is out of hand.
Yeah, it is out of hand.
So to speak. Because if the president would come and say, slow down, madam, it was what? Better come here.
Yeah.
Slow down.
sorry.
But now the State Anti-Corruption Unit, the one that is being led by Kano Edith Nakalema, has it done enough to fight the vice of corruption?
They themselves have been fought. That's why I told you.
And who is fighting them?
No, you've been seeing in the media how they've been having issues. Okay? How they've been having issues. Have they dealt with every big shot? My challenge would be if the State House Anti-Corruption Unit is doing a good job, let them go for the big shots. There's evidence all over, the glaring evidence that this one stole money.
The IGG said that all the survey she did, it all rotates around the big shots in government. And
So
then
why
these people,
can't they be arrested? Is there evidence? She has evidence. Because when you come with a report, that means the IGG has evidence.
No, it is
But
because the
these-
big
oh,
shots
but
are
are
investing
these
in the
systems
country, and so the
independent?
president pardoned them.
are these systems independent?
The systems.
Yes.
These systems don't seem to be independent. Because if the president would appoint Betty Kamia and say, you are the IGG, and then tomorrow when she comes with a very serious report that pins people around the president will say, calm down.
Because with Uganda
I am not the IGG.
12
I'm not
something billion.
I'm not the IGG.
Sorry, trillion in corruption every year.
I'm not the IGG.
Yeah.
The IGG came with a report. The public read it. For us, we are speaking about the report that the same IGG who sits in cabinet brought it. Okay, she's also an advisor of the president.
Yeah.
So, did she advise the president in-house before coming for it for the press? So the question is,
But are they working for a certain individual, or but they have to work for Ugandans?
they're supposed to work for Uganda. That's why the IGG was honest
Yes.
enough and brought the report to the public and read it, and then the
But
president.
now you're saying that she had to talk to the...
No, the question would have been, did she first present the report to the president? If she did not present the report to the president, why did she bring the report to the public? And then read a report that she thought would amaze the president. And in the result, the president said,
But
first
she's
slow
serving
down.
No,
Uganda.
in
She's
her
serving
course of
Ugandans,
duty,
not serving
that is
an
what she's
individual.
meant to do. In her course of duty,
You see,
that
for
is
us-
what she's meant to do.
For us as activists,
But
for us as advocates, people do
Activists.
advocacy in civic and human rights advocacy. We will speak our mind. You see, advocacy is quite different from political party alienation. Okay? Advocacy teaches you, or activism teaches you, to speak your mind boldly, the way you feel it is, to express yourself the way you think it is. Perhaps this country needs to have more activists and more advocates, people who can speak what the country needs, not what people think they should speak. Because let me tell you this for a fact. There is speaking what people believe you should speak, or what someone thinks you should speak, and speaking what you think is right.
Yes.
So for me, as an activist, and very many of them share these same ideologies, very many of them are in the NRM and in the media space, okay? Work. I associate with very many media personalities, and they'll tell you, I have also been following their shows. This is what is in the public domain. What is wrong will remain wrong.
And what is right?
It will remain right.
National narrator is saying, let him re-emphasize on the criteria used to be nominated youth-oriented issue, because the public needs to know and embrace the awards.
Yeah, just like I was trying to explain to her, I think you would have even helped me there, but we're trying to say the awards is a 90% representation of what we think was the underprivileged part of the country, which is the northern region. Then the 10% representation is for the other parts of the country, and which, of course, you would have seen that we try to capture. And of course, the objective is the brands that are there in the nominees category, or the nominated brands, are brands that should represent the values of the young people. What the young people stand for. Like, we are youth biased, we stand with for the youth by the youth. So if Alternative Digitalk is a nominated category, is a nominated brand, would be asking questions. Do they really stand for what we think they stand for? Personally, I have known that of them.
Are they impacting the youth positively?
Definitely. Do they really do what we think aligns with our goal? Because the goals that the awards set up, okay? So that's basically what we're looking at. And of course, we're looking at those different categories of society. Media, we're looking at the arts, performing arts, and then the people in the exceptional service category.
Okay. So how is the voting process?
The voting process is, just like I was explaining earlier, we're going to unveil the roadmap. We shall formally launch the awards. Having launched the awards formally, then we shall have certain procedures and processes that will take place. We shall have a press conference that will unveil the awards, the accolades themselves, that about 31 in number. Then we also made mention that 30 categories are being competed for, and then one category is a special recognition for that exceptional hospital, Lacho Hospital. So that's what we're trying to do. Okay. So the voting will be in three ways, just like I explained. One will be via the SMS platform, which is a platform that will allow other Ugandans who could not have gotten the chance to have a smartphone. Then the other platform will be for those ones in the digital access to smartphones or laptops. That is via the online platform. Then the other one will be in the academy. People will be shifting through. Like let me give an example. Like for the category of their categories like that of the exceptional category, the exceptional service in society. Okay, you would expect, besides the voting, you would expect certain research bureaus or certain research people who've done research, people who've worked in those categories to be examined. Okay, that's what we will go through. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we have come to the end of the show, but here on the Mighty Drive, we end the show on a lighter note. You will have to tell us what you enjoy doing when you're not doing when you're not in activism, you are not at the media agency, you are not doing your engineer work. What do you enjoy doing?
What do I enjoy doing? I enjoy. Would I say mentoring is part of the free time? Because we interact a lot with young people.
No, that is not part of free time. It is.
They're also serving.
No, it is. That is not part of your free time.
So maybe to break it down, like for your case, what would you be
your
enjoying?
hobbies? Okay. Let's talk about your hobbies.
The question is directed to you. What do you enjoy doing in your free time?
In my free time, what do I enjoy doing? Because most of my
you're not sure of.
No, I'm trying to be specific because what most of the things I do are things that I do at leisure. Okay. Most of the works I do are things at leisure. If it's now passion, most of the things are of passion. So I really fail to figure out what.
Okay, you don't play
specific hobby. Oh yeah, you want the specific things. I enjoy listening to music. I enjoy watching. I enjoy watching investigative series.
Okay.
Like the blacklist is one of my most important, interesting ones because it keeps you in check of politics, it keeps you in check of activism, it keeps you in check of intelligence work, it keeps you in check of basically all around society, how you reason out and everything. So things that sharpen my mind are things that I enjoy doing.
Okay.
I watch, I listen, but things that must be, that can impact something.
We
positive.
are in the love month. Could you please send your love message to your lover? I know you have. Don't say you don't. So just send the love message to whoever is your lover. Don't mention the names, but you can mention the names if you have one.
If you have more than one.
If you have more than one, don't mention the message.
Just
Don't mention them. Just send the message.
I mixed. Okay,
Yeah,
you just
get
want
a
me.
name from this one and then a Christian name from this one.
No. That's
I didn't admit that.
that's crisscrossing me. In the love of month, I'm Catholic for that matter, and you know, in the Catholic Church, the love, there's a saint called Saint Valentine. That in the Catholic Church, every 14th of February, there's actually prayer that is held. That is the saint that is celebrated is actually recognized in the church as the saint of love. Every other person celebrates Valentine because of that saint, that person who died because of love. So,
So
to
who
me,
was your Valentine?
I didn't have a Valentine. My Valentine could have been, when was I doing, what was I doing on Valentine? I was traveling to Kampala on Valentine.
You traveling or going for work does not stop you from having a Valentine.
Having a Valentine. You see, for me, I don't have the thinking that I should have a specific day to celebrate love.
Okay.
Okay? I would think if you're my friend, if she's my friend, love is every day. Why would I have one specific day to celebrate love? That one specific day is basically a reminder. That's why I told you my understanding of Valentine. The faith-based understanding of Valentine.
And you know why you have given us this long explanation of Valentine, why you are celebrating this? Because you have multiple people who you will deceive around and you don't want to give a direct message. So you are giving us a lot of explanations. But it is okay. You can say your last words.
Having my loved ones are, of course, my family, the people I work with, okay? People I work with in Songa, people I work with in my activism platform, people I work with in the media company. So those are people.
There's also that special person.
Okay. Tony, give us your last words and we end the show.
Your closing remarks.
My closing remarks are, of course, I would challenge every young person in this country that this country is ours. That irrespective of your political line of work, your political platform, be it NRM, be it NUP, be it any platform that you work in, I would think let us have a critical mind for our country. Let us love our country. Loving our country includes engaging every person, okay? It doesn't mean if you are an MP who is in opposition, you cannot go to speak to a minister, to challenge the minister to do a better job. I would think as a country we need to be much more tolerant. I would think as a country we need a very honest discussion. The issue of a national reconciliation or a national dialogue platform needs to be put forward because of what I see in society. The anger is too much. There is a lot of anger. I don't know whether you understand when I say there's anger. People are very annoyed with the system. People are very annoyed with what is happening in the country.
Yeah.
This is a fact that even if the president stops because he likes stopping by, stops by any person and talks to the person, the people will tell him the truth. There is a lot of anger in society, and I would believe as a country we need to embrace each other. We need to find synergies that can work for everyone. We need to see that what I believe in should not be a point of execution.
Okay.
Because I've seen that. I've seen the way certain people in security handle certain people in opposition. It's not proper. I think as a country we need to move away from that. Because those are the same very reasons the NRM says they went to the bush because Bote was doing this, Amin was doing this, so we wouldn't want to see torture. Okay? Because these are not claims. I have been seeing some media houses writing that it's alleged Kakwenza was tortured. No, Kakwenza was beaten and he was tortured. It is not an allegation. You see his back. See his thighs. He was tortured, basically. You think Kakwenza could beat himself and pluck himself out? No. There are people who are responsible for that. Because if I don't speak about torture today, yesterday was Kakwenza.
The next victim will be you.
Okay? Yesterday was Kakwenza. Tomorrow it might be me.
Okay, thank you, Tony. He's an engineer by profession. He's doing media. is doing advocacy. Banange, you know what, that is what they mean by being versatile. Like, tewesiba ku kintu kimu, bw'oba oli musomesa genda olimeko. You know, essente tuzinonyeze buli wamu. Never kyetaagisa crossing kugenda mwenare, you cross for as long as you are going to get money. Thank you for watching. Farida Bikobe is my name. I am with Lilian Luwede. I had JJ on camera, Nabukera Teddy Tenjo, mo control room Jeremiah Mchibi. Thank you all for working. See you tomorrow.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.